Big Boss Jock Radio Show. The show where the listeners are encouraged to rise up, confront the U.S. government, kick off the revolution, liberate the Confederate States of America, the Alamo, placed as the capital. Assessment, Analyst Assessment, Episode 39. Video being assessed, uploaded, posted by NBC News. Posted on April 5, 2019. Airtime 52 minutes, 2 seconds. Clip entitled, Watch Live, Trump Participates in Immigration and Border Security Roundtable. Enter into the clip 19 minutes and 43 seconds. Continues to speak an unnamed official. Wasn't presented before the group with as having a name. He just talked next. Or maybe he was presented at the very first of the conference, and now after 20 minutes the name's forgotten. Either way, his name wasn't mentioned when he was presented, when he began to speak. 19 minutes, 43 seconds, unnamed official. For those congressmen who say they want a solution, I say get out of your way. Let your administration do what needs to be done. Get the border secure. Analyst assessment, completely unacceptable. Places low-level agent, position to tell, will soon give orders, instruct U.S. Congress members, who he refers to in these gender-sensitive times, congressmen. Well, where's the congresswoman? And furthermore, there's a California Congress, state Congress, and there's a Congress that represents the nation in Washington, D.C. Which Congress should be mentioned? U.S. Congress, members. Low-level agent instructs members, condition the viewer accept the idea. Low-level agent, and as if he speaks for the president, instructs others in reference issues which pertain to the U.S. president. Completely unacceptable. Wording in the dialogue, breakdown in chain of command. Subordinate is out of place. Inappropriate are the words I with your. Take note, reader, dialogue doesn't seem genuine. It doesn't. And when they slow it down, they can see the trickery. It's obvious that these comments aren't spontaneous. The structure is to play on the psyche of the viewer. That's the intention. It doesn't seem natural. How did the person think up these statements with such backwards English? Quite skilled at placing forth a deception. It's computer generation, and you people need to wake up. You need to understand what's going on. The programmers are about to take away the nation. The USA. The U.S. citizen who's termed a person, another in the group of people, them, they, are going to wake up no longer a U.S. citizen. Knock on the door. Gun confiscation. Ushered away from their residences. Allowed 5 totes. Ushered into the underground. That's for the home. 5 totes, that's enough for the mementos. That's what Yankee Sam determined. Furthermore, regardless of the material objects, be stripped of one's identity, no longer a U.S. citizen, being dictated by another authority what new regulations are in place and they must obey. You, listener, it's going to happen. USDIA is making clear the plan. The programmer placed this dialogue. It's computer generated. Not the dialogue to the Big Boss Jock Show, but rather to this video clip that's being assessed. Posted by NBC News. And it doesn't matter if it's NBC or any of the other letter combinations. It's the same theme. 5-minute lapse on every broadcast. Yankee Sam sets the dialogue. Computer generated. Operators at a keyboard. Keyboards. 19 minutes, 48 seconds, unnamed official. And I'll turn it back to you, people, to the President of the United States of America. I'll turn it back to you. End of statement. Statement should have been, thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity to allow, and he would insert me, to address the conference. He's over. That's right. And he would say it with a tone as in, thank you, and he made his address. Instead, he chumped the president. Made him out to be nothing. You. Instead of, sir, Mr. President, sir. Commander-in-Chief of the entire organization gets treated in such a way by the programmers at the USDIA. So ask themselves, what's the intention? To take away the presidency. First goes the presidency and next the government. And it won't be that far of a step. Maybe at the same time, from the underground announced, 90 million capacity in the underground. 19 minutes and 49 seconds. Statement made dawn. I just wanna thank you. You've been incredible, representative of your men and women. I can tell you that he is constantly getting us to do what's right. And Chris and so many others, you guys are fantastic, and I appreciate it. Even before I started, they want to see it happen, and it's happening, and I want to just thank you very much. Analyst assessment. That's a whole lot of clever rubbish. I just want to thank you. The awards ceremony. That shouldn't be for a U.S. presidential address. That should be in a private meeting for the U.S. Border Patrol. The first name basis with everyone, the U.S. president is insignificant. He isn't at the table as the leader. He's just another of the chummy bunch. Just another. Nothing special. He doesn't receive sir nor Mr. President. Only a couple times. Mr. President. Most of the time it's you. And when he refers to the others, the president, he addresses them with their first name. Let's look at the structure. I just want to thank you. You've been incredible. Who's been incredible? I want to thank you, the agents of the U.S. Border Patrol. You have been incredible. The next part, representative of your men and women. That doesn't make sense. If he's referring to one of the members there at the table, the officials, members of what? The presidency? Another of the officials at the table. The president can't say, should not say, representative of your men and women. What is that? Representative of the agents at the Border Patrol? U.S. Border Patrol. And there is a difference between Border Patrol and U.S. Border Patrol. Mexico has a Border Patrol. So does every nation south of the United States, including north of the United States. They all have border patrols. They have a border to patrol. Every nation has borders. Those borders get patrolled. Yankee is accepting that they're no longer a U.S. citizen. And rubbish such as representative of your men and women when referring to agents of the U.S. Border Patrol. Then he continues and Don says, I can tell you that he is constantly getting us. What does that mean? Tell you. You, the person needs to decipher. Is that me? I? That he. And who's he? Well, that's not clear because that person's not named. And he's a he, a male. But it's uncertain who the he is. So they're thinking in the abstract about he is constantly getting us. Who's us? The United States of America? Don and his imaginary friend? Don and his advisors? One part of the government that isn't being specified? Who's we? Which in turn is us. Who is that us? the listener isn't sure, and their mind's spinning, trying to grasp what is easily understood. This serves as a backwards riddle. They'll pick up the fiddle, and let's see if we see where the fiddle is. Don continued, is getting us to do what's right. And Chris and so many others, you guys are fantastic. Does that mean that Chris is getting someone to do something? And we don't know who Chris is. Is he a U.S. Border Patrol agent? And is that how he represents what the U.S. president terms as his men and his women? And why not put the women first and then the men? But there's a lot of confusion either way, however they fit in. Guys, this is Don's quote, you guys are fantastic and I appreciate it. Even before I started, they want to see it happen, and it's happening, and I want to just thank you very much. So they take the I appreciate it. Well, what's that? That in the abstract, it means the job well done by the agents at the U.S. Border Patrol. Then Don continues, even before I started, they want to see it happen. So he takes it to I. Problem is, when he says I, there's a whole group who are disenfranchised. They're not disenchanted. They are not happy with Don. They're not part of his group, we. And when he says I, reinforces that they are very separate from the group of us when stated by the one who just used I to identify himself. So when he goes, Don, and says, I started, they want to see it happen, they, the listener, needs to interpret as the agents at the U.S. Border Patrol want to see the construction of the project, the barrier wall, happen, take place. And imagine that. But see what he says, want to see it happen, and it's happening. It happen is the construction, and it's happening is the achievement, the actual, one's the project, one's the constructing of the project. All determined, all described by it. The viewer needs to decipher. They hear it, and they need to come up with one or two phrases in the abstract. They're being conditioned, brainwashed. It's trickery. And it's happening, and I want to just thank you very much. Well, you wouldn't be the U.S. Border Patrol agents that Don is referring to in the room, because then it would be, I want to thank you, the U.S. Border Patrol, you, the agents that are hard at work every day, but they don't construct the wall. They secure the wall. And there is no need for a wall. They secure the border. The reason there's a need for the wall is because of an open invitation that was made by the U.S. Congress, mundane reasons for refugee status. Yeah, if there isn't some type of barrier, well, half of Latin America will arrive on Yankee territory and have seasonal work and go back to their country. Oh no, they need to remain in the country to receive refugee status? Okay, 1 representative and 5 stay home. Paid for by the U.S. taxpayer. They don't have enough funds. They're about to go bankrupt. They, the former U.S. citizen termed they, them, a person in the group of people who also are termed that way, illegal migrants. They, them, the people. Why the self-proclaimed nationalists? And he didn't proclaim it. This is what you people need to understand, is computer generation. They're placing the statements. Intelligence operators place these statements to Don. They're not spontaneous. It's a psychological operation. Our one only God, He helps me do this rhyme, line by line. I do give my thanks, along with gratitude, for our Father in heaven, our one only God. As the big boss jock, momentarily signing off.